beautiful, but also deadly. This is a poppy field. The seed pod of these plants contain opium, the principal component of a highly addictive drug, heroin. 90% of the world's opium and heroin comes from here, Afghanistan. Heroin is injected, inhaled, or smoked. All three methods deliver the drug to the brain very rapidly. When smoked, heroin passes from the lungs into the bloodstream and the brain. In the brain, it increases the release of dopamine, a chemical which makes the user feel happy and relaxed. Dopamine works in what's called the reward pathway of the brain, which reinforces behavior that feels pleasurable, encouraging users to take more heroin and eventually to become dependent on it. However, the short and long-term effects of heroin can be devastating. Heroin overdose slows down breathing and can stop it altogether. After the initial effects fade, the user becomes drowsy for several hours. This may be accompanied by vomiting or severe itching. With basic body functions such as breathing and heartbeat slowing down, there is a serious risk of coma, permanent brain damage, or death. Within hours after the drug effects have decreased, the user's body begins to crave more. If the user doesn't get another dose of heroin, they begin to experience withdrawal.
When you take heroin or any opiates, it affects your adrenaline levels in the body. Adrenaline is something that causes you to be stressed. When you're feeling under threat, when you feel like you have to fight somebody or run away, that's the hormone that's running through your body. So heroin holds the adrenaline back from being released. So the moment you stop taking the heroin, all this adrenaline that's stored up rushes through your body. And when your body has too much adrenaline, what happens then is you feel like you're going to faint. Your blood pressure goes up. Your heart starts beating very quickly, so you think you're having a heart attack. You get diarrhea. You have tummy aches. Your bones start to pain. All these are because of adrenaline. The good news is, it is very rare to actually die from a withdrawal. Unless you have serious medical problems, the withdrawals will generally go away after about 3 to 5 days.
Repeated heroin use results in physical dependence or addiction. Users crave for another dose at any cost. Heroin weakens the body's defense mechanism to fight diseases effectively. Many lung diseases such as pneumonia and tuberculosis are associated with heroin abuse. Prolonged use of heroin by male users can cause impotence, and in women can stop monthly periods. Also associated with long-term use is loss of memory and intellectual performance. Addiction to heroin and depression go hand in hand. Reduced appetite and sleeplessness occur frequently among heroin users. Injecting, the most common method of delivering heroin, is known to cause severe damage to users' veins and arteries. It can cause the death of body tissue, usually a finger, toe, or a limb. When users share needles, syringes, and other equipment involved in injecting, they put themselves and others in danger of serious infections.
When you share needles, or even when you choose needles are passed around, the needles can actually give you diseases that other people have got. So if somebody else has got AIDS or what we call hepatitis B or hepatitis C, and you use those needles, you're going to give yourself AIDS and hepatitis B and hepatitis C. Those diseases can be fatal. When you inject, what you're doing is you're putting germs inside your body. And depending on where those germs go, they're going to cause an infection. Because those germs could go to your brain and cause a brain infection. They can go to your heart and actually give you a heart infection. So it can go to your lungs and give you pneumonia. You could stop breathing.
All right, can everyone keep their hands up? Don't be digging around, gang.
Heroin is rarely found in its purest form. To increase profit, dealers often sell heroin mixed with other contaminants, further increasing the health risks to users.
The other problem with injecting also is because you're putting a needle, and there is lots of things in the heroin that your dealer put in. What it can do is it can actually block your blood vessels. Once it blocks your blood vessels, there is no blood in that area. So if it blocks the blood vessels in your brain, you will get a stroke. If it blocks your heart, you will get a heart attack. If it blocks a blood vessel going to your leg, you lose your leg or your hand. So there are lots of problems associated with introducing a clot into your system.
A report by the United Nations estimated that globally there were 183,000 drug-related deaths, mostly from overdoses, in 2012, with opiate overdose the largest category.